G'day, my name is Adam and I'm the founder of Zero Plastics Australia. I specialise in turning single-use plastic milk lids into brand new practical products. And in this YouTube series, I'm going to run through what it takes to be a micro-recycler, what machines, what moulds, what plastic, what knowledge you need to know in order to do this in your local community. This is a video to my past self and something that I would have wanted to watch about 5 years ago when I first started, hopefully covering all the points. Now look, it's going to be bare bones, it's going to be basic, it is going to lead to more questions, but I'm happy to help. And hopefully this starting point will help you bring your idea to life and help recycle more plastic. It might seem a bit backwards, but I believe we need to start at the end. What recycled plastic product are you trying to bring to life? And then by knowing that, you will then understand what plastic you need to use, what molds you need to use, what machines you need to use. So I think the very first point and what you need to try and think of when going down this journey is what is it that you are trying to create? What is the recycled plastic going to be turned into? Is it a single-use product in itself? What it's going to happen at the end of its life? How can it be re-recycled? And how can we understand the whole concept from start to finish? Once you know your product and you know what you want to create, then it's very easy to work out what machines to use, what molds to use, and what plastic. So the main point and one of the most crucial things that we will cover here in this series is what plastic type will you be using and where do you get your plastic from? This is so crucial. Understanding that our world is inundated with plastic waste and it is absolutely everywhere, you would think this would be very easy. But getting this plastic in the right polymer, in the colors that you'll be using, in a form that you can then shred up and then use in your machines is incredibly crucial. Having this understanding, we'll go into a full episode alone just on the plastics and what I recommend in the use with injection molding or sheet press. Also in this series, as we talk about and go into depth, we have to talk about the molds, the actual cookie cutters of our shapes of the products that we'll be making. The majority of this series will kind of lead you into becoming an injection molding machine. That's what we run here, and that's what I've found to be the best machines to making products that actually sell and are useful in this world. When creating the molds, you can have a cheap option and you can have a dear option. We'll talk about this in depth and go into the understanding of what's the difference between the laser cut molds or a CNC. Also in this series, we will cover the machines needed. Now again, as I mentioned, we'll do mainly injection molding machines, but in that there's all these different subcategories with this lever, automatic and arbor. I have all three of these in the facilities that I use, and I can tell you why each machine is different. We've named our machines Betty, Buster and Minnie, and in these I'll explain the difference between these three machines, how they make products, how they make different products, and how you would use each machine to make different products. In this as well, you find out that every single machine has a purpose, and using its machine to the correct purpose is a really crucial thing that I wish I learnt very early on. The other question that we commonly get is, where do I get the machines from? We can point you into the right direction of where you can get these machines, or how you can create them yourselves and really turn this into something new. In one of the episodes, we will talk about the products, how we go into details of designing these, and the aftercare. What you need to do in order to make sure the product is actually sellable and at the quality of what people want, so it doesn't end up being trash. The other one that we'll talk about in the same episode is how to market these products and how best I have found at selling the idea. One of the episodes that we'll talk about in this series is the business side of things. Now I do not know business, I am still learning this every single day. With Zero Plastics Australia, we have found so many different problems along the way where you just have to learn by doing. So hopefully I can leapfrog you ahead with these problems and give you the knowledge and know-how of how to run a business, how to tell a story, how to pitch the products, and how you should tell and show people the full transparency of the plastic lid to the final product. How crucial it is to get away from greenwashing and show the world that waste is only waste if we waste it. One thing you need to focus on is also your mindset, and this will be an episode in itself as well, because as you will quickly learn, you become an entrepreneur. Now with Zero Plastics Australia, we have actually reached goals that I never thought were possible. We've recycled 4.7 million lids as of to date. I've educated over 8,500 students. We have over 250 different products that we create with being able to make brand new products in-house. However, we have failed so much. On our fails, I have learnt so many new things, and in this series I will talk about why it's good to have that mentality to fail and find out. If I didn't fail, I wouldn't have created and gotten to where we have, with some of our largest orders being 98,000 single-use plastic milk lids. Some of the same times we've had orders where I've sat on the floor and had a cry because of how damaging and how hard it can be. This is not an easy journey. It is worth it, and I can tell you it's so much fun along the way. But just remember, that it's okay to fail, and that whole episode that we'll talk about, and we'll be able to show you my examples, so maybe you won't have to fail the same way. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and please leave a comment of what you're excited to learn, what episode you're looking forward to, and any questions that you actually might have that I can hopefully answer in future episodes. By the end of this, your journey will begin, and you'll be on your way to having a recycling facility like us here at Zero Plastic Australia. Enjoy doing this together, and look forward to seeing you next week.